Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you, my old friend.
My old friend, your hair looks great.
It's weird. You like hang out with animals more than people.
Yeah, well, animals get me.
Amigos de Combo, bienvenidos al especial de Rampage. Tenemos al director de esta película. How are you, sir?
I'm good, how are you?
It's George. I need to see him.
He is dangerous.
I watched the movie with my 6-year-old kid, and he was surprised every second, every single time that your character survives to something. He said like, oh, come on, Dad. He can do that. He can't survive to that. It's Dwayne Johnson.
Yes, you got to teach your son early. Yes, it's Dwayne Johnson. I could survive it. I got very lucky. No, but I'm glad you guys went.
I rescued George when he was 2 years old. He's not just a friend. He's family. Don't move him up.
How did you do the adaptation? Because maybe the younger generations doesn't know that this was a game.
Yeah.
A very old or vintage
We're not
game.
that old. We're not that old. I'm not saying it's vintage. I'm not vintage. You're not vintage.
Just the game.
Just the game. Yeah, just the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's for me. You know, I had an arcade in the mall where I grew up as a kid, and I played Rampage. And obviously, Dwayne's a massive Rampage fan. I'm sure you guys have heard about this. He says he's like put in like hundreds of dollars worth of quarters into it. So it's a couple things. First of all, if you're a fan of the game, I had to give you 3 creatures, mass destruction, some Easter eggs, woman in the red dress, you know, I had to do those kind of things. But the ultimate reason why I said yes to making the film was there was also a lot of freedom. Like creatively, I could kind of go do sequences I wanted to do, I could do the action I wanted to do. So even if you're not aware of the game, I'm putting you on this ride. You're gonna have a lot of fun.
We took a video game that really doesn't have a story. It's just about, you know, 3 creatures like destroying a city, basically bashing in buildings. And they made a story, and I think it's a great story, and managed to not only make a big old monster movie out of it, but they injected some heart into it, which I think is sort of the most important part, and most important of all is that it's a fun ride. I mean, I think this is in every way a big popcorn movie. It's a movie you go to and you have a good time, and those are far and few between.
It's very crazy.
It's very crazy. I'm really pleasantly surprised. You know, but I already knew because I read the script, so I knew it was going to be a good film. But, you know, it's just, you always have your doubts about making a video game into a film because there's not much to the video game. You go, what's the story going to be? What's it going to be about? But I think they did a great job with this because they made it, you know, a buddy movie almost. You got Dwayne and his gorilla, and you really care for them and you really love them. There's a lot of comedy in it, really funny moments, and then you have all the big, amazing special effects and explosions, and a really juicy villain that gets to put her hands in everything.
Can you tell me more about your character? Can you tell us?
Yeah, her name is Claire Wyden, and she is a billionaire who owns a company that's quite like CRISPR that deals with DNA and modifying DNA. And she is sort of the mastermind behind these creatures. She has created these creatures of mass destruction, thinking that they're going to be weaponized and she might be able to sell them for millions of dollars.
You have a big personality. You have this twisted mind.
She does have a twisted mind, yeah. She's just a power-hungry, evil woman.
Got your message about George, you okay?
I don't know.
George?
How is to work with this kind of star that everything that you can imagine, he can do it?
It's amazing. I mean, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, the way I summarize it is every time I work with him, I get surprised by something. There's always going to be an evolution. And one of the things I love the most about working with him is when we sit down and we talked about this movie in particular, we were like, what can we do that, you know, people haven't seen? What kind of experience can we give people that they haven't gone through yet? What can I do that I haven't done, both as a filmmaker and a star? And that's really exciting because every time you know you're going to get something new out of him, you know, he's going to be more ambitious than the last time. Like on this movie, for example, he said, Brad, these creatures are so massive, I want to be more scared, more beat up, more bloody. And I was like, that's awesome. So you literally see Dwayne get shot, chased, smashed. Like it's crazy. And a lot of that credit has to go to him because he's willing to go there. And of course, he's a giant movie star, so you get all the charisma and charm and humor. You get, you know, I always love working with Dwayne because my whole goal is just to give everybody the full Dwayne Johnson package.
We're gonna die!
Probably.
You have this special relationship with the character, your character and the Dwayne Johnson's character. This kind of friendship, but also they are like.
A little bit of banter there,
Exactly.
a little bit of they don't know what to make of each other, so they're kind of feeling each other out, but they do it with a little bit of like a snarky sense of humor. You know what I mean? But they're testing each other. They don't know if they can trust each other or not, and I like how that kind of plays out. Hell of a day, huh? Science experiments falling from the sky.
You are doing so crazy stuff in the movies, and every single film that we watch you, you do something crazy.
Yeah, but you know, but there's also in these movies, these kinds of movies, it calls for that because there's 3 gigantic monsters leveling a city. You know, one guy running around trying not to get eaten, and my best friend is a gorilla trying to save his life. So you know, and plus I like doing things that are a little crazy.
But it's not just in fiction. Come on, you got to be kidding me, right? Doing this kind of things, it's like
I really wanted to get to know the alligator really well. It's fucking insane. I should not have done that. No, no. I don't recommend that. I don't recommend that. No,
because they go like
yes,
in a
but
second,
in a second they do that and they grab on and then they turn, which will twist your limbs off, and that's how they kill their prey. But I was doing everything I can to be as strong as possible, holding his jaws together, and pulling him back, using my weight, trying to calm him down. Yeah.
Last night, George was 7 feet and he weighed 500 pounds.
You have done a lot of things. Which is the dream that you imagine to come true someday?
I mean, honestly, what I'm doing now and making movies like this, and what I mean by that is, you know, I didn't always have it like this. I had somewhat of a very challenging life when I was younger as a teenager. We had some challenges and had some hard times. So to be able to come from that to this and to sit with you and, you know, we talk about a movie and yeah, it's like a dream come true. But also it's a good reminder that you can, and it's a good reminder not only for me, but also for people out there, is that sometimes in life, you know, you have these circumstances that are the shits. It could be shit, but you can overcome it. You can overcome it through hard work, and you can overcome it through faith, and then all of a sudden you can do what I do. George, you okay, buddy?
You're scared. It's okay. This morning he's 9 feet, pushing 1,000.
How was doing this crazy stuff with Dwayne Johnson? Because he's doing a lot of things that nobody can think that it's possible in this fantasy world, but you are doing it.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he's great to work with. This is sort of his. This is his genre. You know, he knows how to do this stuff, and he's kind of the leader of the pack when it comes to, you know, how to deal with the green screen and how to deal with acting with these fake monsters that you don't see until the very end, and when it all comes together, it just looks amazing.
Are you familiar with genetic editing? Changes will be incredibly unpredictable.
You have done this balance in the stories, like you did it with Rick Grimes and Egan, and now Dwayne Johnson and your character. They need somebody to put into this trouble in the story, right?
Yeah, and I guess that's me. The Rick Grimes guy, that's a lot of trouble. Yeah. I think this guy is a nice mix of trouble and trying to solve the trouble.
Good.
You know, there's a little bit of both. We got some good and some bad, whereas the other one's probably a little bit more bad.
and you have a lot of cayuse, and in water there's a lot of cayuse. Is there a possibility that we going to watch something like crossovers with King Kong, Godzilla?
Well, this had to be its own thing.
Yeah.
You know, we made George albino to separate him from any other kind of existing monster thing. So I don't know if we're gonna cross over with those guys because that's their thing. If we do something more with this, all I'm saying is I'd probably go maybe sea, I'd go maybe water, I'd go something in the air maybe. So if there's more Rampage to be had, there's gonna be more of this, but we're not gonna cross over in any other world. This was all like, I want my own thing, I want to do my own world creation, but it's definitely crossed my mind, what other creatures could you do?
Ymir, is he considerably bigger?
No, he's definitely bigger.
I need to find someone who knows exactly what the hell this thing is.
If you can build another monsters in this world, which animals would you choose?
I think a rhinoceros would be great, a great start-off point, and then just expand however we would genetically modify it, maybe with wings and speed and, you know, I'm already terrified of rhinoceroses. They're no joke, man. So you add a little extra DNA to that, and you've got a crazy monster.
In Mexico, we have the alebrijes. Do you know the alebrijes?
No, I don't know the alebrijes.
It's the creatures doing with a lot of parts of different animals.
Oh, really? Okay.
So you can build.
Well, there you go. I'd build my own crazy animal, my own alebrijes.
Yeah. Is that true that you want to be president?
I never said. No, it's true that I am very flattered that a lot of people would like me to be president. So I have a huge amount of respect for the title of President of the United States. So therefore, I want to make sure that if I ever ran for president, I would do my best to get as much experience as I could possibly get. And I also, you know, I believe in great leadership, and I believe in inclusion, and I believe in good dialogue. So maybe one day.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
sir.
man.
Nice to meet
Thank you. Nice to meet you too.
Thank you very much. Sir.
Thank you, buddy. Good to